Hey, and welcome to Honest to Pod with me, Ashley McAllister,
And me, Matthew LA.
and we're here. we're here to bring you a weekly update looking at news, culture, and social issues with just enough of a fruity twist to make you glitter jizz. Now, one of the co-hosts was late today, so Ashley took it upon himself to record the intro. Hope you don't mind, Matt. Well, Matt. Oh, you're late.
An hour late?
Yes.
Well, you've been holding that one in, haven't you, bitch?
You know how much I love people who are late.
I apologise.
So, episode 4.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one.
I think so. Well, I don't know. I feel like I'm going to bring us down because,
But you,
I'm quite hungover, so I feel like depression is good for that.
you've literally just woke up as well.
Yeah, and I woke up as well. I had a delicious, absolutely wonderful 3-hour nap just by chance, and I wish it could go on forever, but it's not going to go on forever now. It's probably good. I won't be able to sleep tonight anyway.
So, because I work for an American company, we get off the 4th of July, so we were off on Wednesday. But I don't know if it was like this in London, but it was the hottest day. So I went out for a cycle and I stopped at one point because it was too hot. I touched some tarmac and the tarmac was melting. Like I could see my foot.
Actually,
Yeah, I've got a video of it. The tarmac was melting. You could see my footprint in the tarmac.
that is ridiculous.
Boiling.
I saw something on Facebook where a guy's like actually got caught in melting tarmac.
Oh God.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
Yeah. But I decided to go out on, because I was out, I thought, right, I'm going to spend the day, I'm going to be really healthy, going to go out to the gym. So cycled out to CrossFit and it was open gym. So everybody else was at work. So I got out there for about 12ish. And it was like the PT was out and there was other ones out doing stuff. It wasn't very busy. He had put like this little workout together for me. Floor to overhead things. So you start with the bar on the floor and you pull it up and then at the end it's overhead. So you lift it up above your head.
I think it's called something like a clean and jerk or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe something like that, or something like that. Anyway, I was doing that. I'm so committed to the CrossFit. I was doing that, and then after that, you have to do 6 of them with the weight, and then you have to do 15 calories on the row machine, and then you have to do 20 box jumps. So you'd have to do that 4 times. And it started off well, but like I said, the heat was boiling, and I was dripping everywhere of sweat. Came to my second set of box jumps, but
I don't mind box jumps.
Oh.
I mean, white men and all that stuff.
Why do black men jump a lot?
Oh my God. Have you ever seen the film that I watched before, White Man Can't Jump?
Be here if you've never watched a film in your life.
I've watched that film and it's really good. It's really good. Wesley Snipes is in it. You've seen the film, right?
What is it called? White Men Can't Jump?
Yeah.
I think I have.
Yeah, and then, like it's 2 basketball players and one is white and they think he can't play. Anyway, it's actually a lie. Even though I am not white, I most certainly cannot jump, which is annoying.
So I was doing these box jumps and I wasn't paying attention. And
oh my God, you fell over. That's so annoying that I missed it. So annoying.
It was the most dramatic fall ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I went up. I knew, like, I jumped up and I was so sweaty and so tired, and I was just like, I wasn't paying attention. Totally missed my foot. Then my knee fell forward and slammed against the wood. Then I fell forward because I lost my balance and fell like my chest on top of the box. And then I sort of just rolled over. Then I just rolled over and fell like a sack of shit onto the rubber mat.
Oh, so good.
And I just lay there on the ground and the guys were like, oh my God, are you all right? Are you all right? I got up and I was like, yeah, I'm cool. I'm fine, guys. Don't worry about me. But it was so embarrassing because all these guys are like ripped and they're like athletic and they're doing workouts that are much more brutal than me. And I was like, I can't believe I just did this because I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, that's so good.
But that's sort of like the highlight of my week.
The ones at the gym that I'm supposed to go to that I pay for but don't go, they have like padded ones which are really good. So that doesn't happen. So you should tell them to get some nice padded ones.
Well, they do have padded ones, and there's one padded one because this happens a lot, and people cut themselves quite often. But I learned a lesson that day.
Don't jump in public.
Don't do exercise.
That is a life lesson. That is an absolute life lesson because I follow that every single day. I pay for membership, I've bought a bike, and I use none of it. So yeah, it's what I live by. I barely walk, to be honest, to places, and even that annoys me.
What about your week? Tell me about your week.
To be honest, I didn't have a great week. I'm not going to lie. Like, I just got really pissed off about work. And then someone that I sort of used to be friends with started messaging me and saying like he thinks I'm being a dick and stuff, like a proper childish like argument. And I don't really like arguing in general.
So why was he saying you were being a dick?
So basically sort of our friendship had broken down. So I decided to leave like a WhatsApp group that we were in that day because like, I don't need to be in the group anymore. We're not going to be actively using it and stuff. There's no need for it. So I just decided to leave the group. And then later on that day, he just messaged me being like, literally just, I think you're being a prick. And I was like,
oh God.
Yeah. So I wrote back being like, I went, no. I am not that person that you think I am. As in, like, I don't do that. That's not what I do. I don't argue over the sake of arguing. So yeah. So then that happened on the same day where I had like an issue at work. And so honestly, I just felt really, really bad. I started getting this thing over the past couple of years. Like it feels like anxiety. So like this weird, like sort of just below my like chest or something, there's this weird like feeling. And that came back at the end of last week for a couple of days. It's kind of gone now. I think like just relaxing a bit over the weekend, was nice. But yeah, just that day, just overall, I got caught on a bad day from him messaging me, to be honest.
Yeah. That's sorry. Yeah. Sorry to hear that.
That's all right. It's all right. I wasn't sure if I want to speak on here, but I was like, well, let's see if it's the kind of thing that I want to speak about or people want to hear or find it quite therapeutic because it did really affect my week, to be honest. And I'm trying this thing where I'm trying to be like open and honest about my feelings more often, which I find very, very difficult, which I didn't realize as well until recently. But at the same time, because I'm feeling bad, I don't necessarily go on about it all the time.
Yeah, I think it's good that you're talking about it. And I think it's definitely worth something talking about on the podcast if you're willing to talk about it. Because I think it's something that, I don't know, like I would say a lot of men struggle with. Like talking about feelings and anxiety, and like the men's suicide rate is a lot higher than the female suicide rate. And I personally think it's down to people not being able to talk about stuff or feeling like there's a weakness in talking about stuff when there isn't. Like people should be open and willing to talk about what they want. At the end of the day, you've got friends around you, and your friends, it would never be a burden to your friends to say, look, I'm having a really bad time. Can I talk about this? Or can we just vent? Or can I just ring you up and talk you through this shit? I'd be like, yeah, totally, just call me.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and it's nice. I'm starting to realize that a little bit and a lot more. So obviously, and I'll speak a little bit about it, I guess. Obviously, we know that I've gone through a breakup. I'd say relatively recently, but it's been a couple of months now, and it's going well. We're talking and we've got a really nice relationship, which is good, but it's still difficult to go through, I find. Or I found it. I'm still finding it now, actually. And so, like, I've spoken about Jordan before. Like, honestly, he's just there every minute. Every minute he's there for me. That I need, which I just really, really appreciate. And I've got my friend Holly at work, and it's just like a few people that you just think actually it's nice just that they make themselves available, even if you don't want to talk about it. Because sometimes I feel like I am being a burden. Because sometimes I do go on. I do like to go on, and it might be a daily occurrence. Honestly, like it might be like today I have an issue. This was Wednesday last week. I had an issue, and then I'm talking about it, and then I'm saying the exact same thing the next day. And they're still available to listen. And I think that's nice because generally I wouldn't normally do that because I feel like I'm being a burden. And what happens is I end up just sitting there at home and just feeling quite bad. So,
Ooh, what a week. Shall we talk about our stuff?
Yeah. Cool.
I don't know if you've seen it in the news this week where, I don't know her name, but it's all happened in Scotland, where this guy, and his name is I don't know her name, this guy's name is Alexander Kindred, Perth, Scotland. Right, so they went on a Tinder date. So you imagine, have you ever used Tinder?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. All right, well, imagine you've swiped right on somebody, you really fancy them, you like the look of them, chatting them for 2 weeks, you decide to meet up. You ask them.
2 weeks?
They were chatting for 2 weeks, yeah.
Are these straight people?
Straight people.
Oh my God. I think with gay people, there's a window of like 4 days, it seems. So if you don't meet within that time, it's unlikely you'll ever see each other.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let me set the scene here, right? So they swipe right. They chatted for 2 weeks. They set a date to meet. She invited him round to her house even, pop open a bottle of wine. They put on some Barry White. They put the lights down really low. Things are getting emotional. The drinks are going. You tell him about your childhood holidays to the seaside. He tells you about how he beat up a gay guy when he was 15 and the guy died. Then the guy pulls out a knife and starts shouting at you, and then completely trashes your house.
Hold on one second. Is this your own made-up story?
No, this is in the news.
Oh my God.
This couple met on Tinder. Like I said, they chatted for 2 weeks. They set a date. She invited him round. First date, she invited him round to the house. They started drinking. Some of her family came over to check on her to make sure she was all right. He started using a language that she wasn't very comfortable with, but the family had sort of already gone. He then starts getting really emotional and talking about how he killed someone. She's like, I don't know, like obviously feeling really awkward and like put on the spot. Apparently gets really like agitated because he thinks he's lost his phone. He then pulls out a knife, a kitchen knife, and starts shouting at her, "You don't know what I'm capable of. I'm going to fucking kill him." This was all overheard by a neighbor. She's like, so I think she manages to like calm him down a bit. He then apologizes. He gives up the knife. She then says, like, "I need to go to the toilet." And then she bolts out that door.
Wow.
Yeah. Then the police come and he's locked himself in her flat. He's screaming at the police saying that he's got crossbows, he's got shotguns, and he's going to blow up the flats. Then people hear all her belongings getting smashed up. And this apparently went on for hours, like into the early hours of the morning. And then he gave himself up. So the article actually talks about his court case, but they didn't actually give him how long he was sentenced for. But like, how fucking nutcasey. It just got me thinking, why would you ask this guy you've never met round to your house? That's like, I don't know.
That's a regular and normal thing.
No, it's not. Well, it is. But the thing is, right, this is what I want to say. It's not something I would do because I approach every single social interaction if that person's a killer.
You think everyone you meet online is a killer?
Everyone, they're killers. And you have to set up protection. I would never, like, I'm not saying I have never, but there's certain steps I need go to before I would go round to somebody's house. Like in this sort of scenario, no. I always meet somebody first off. I'm not really into hookups though. Like I'm not really, like, it was never really my thing. I would never really just say, let's come around and fuck. Like that would never happen.
Right.
I'd always be like, let's go for drinks. Cause you don't know who you're meeting. Like my worst like nightmare would be, cause it happens all the time, that they've shared pictures of somebody else or they've shared pictures that like 12 years ago and you're actually getting the fucking Santa Claus lookalike.
Oh my God.
No way. I meet in public and see where it goes. I don't know. What what about you? Do you partake in nightly hookups? Or did you?
Not nightly. Every single day. Sometimes twice. I wouldn't say it's something that I have done regularly, but I definitely have. It's just that like when I have, it hasn't really been a good experience. I might say that I've gone around to someone's house. I can count the number like on one hand, probably. That's from an app though, because I don't know if it's different if I'm like out in a club or something. But then I would have seen them. Like pulling on a night out, I've done like, especially in your early 20s and stuff. I did, I'd say relatively often.
Yeah.
But no, I'd say like obviously again, like being a single guy now, I kind of flirt with the idea and I'm like, oh, I kind of like it in principle, in theory. But when it comes to like practice, especially just because I'm lazy, and some of them are so far away. They're like 9 p.m., right? It's a 9 p.m. on a weekday. And they're like, oh, why don't you come around now? And I'm like, it's 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. I'm not going
Love Island has just started. What are you talking about?
I mean? Like, what? Exactly. And I'm currently missing all like the Love Island chat like with my friends and stuff, which is going crazy at the moment. But no, it's like 6 p.m. in the day. Like, I'm good.
In the 30s as well, you're like, I want to be in bed by 10. Like,
do you know what I mean?
It's just like not happening.
Yeah. But to say that, like, I've definitely gone rounds, but I do get really, really nervous. Like, if it's someone I haven't met before, and it is a risk, I think, that you take. But what I would do is, even if I'm going on a date or something that, like, I'm a bit wary of, like, or just meeting someone online or just going around their house, is I would send Jordan the location of where I'm going. So, yeah, I would send, like, the address and just be like, message, if I don't message in, like, 2 hours,
just call the police.
Kind of po.
I'm with the killer.
So
that's a good way of doing it. I never thought of it.
I'll be like, because I do worry about that.
Because what I did, like, this is really weird, but what I used to do is like leave a little note on my bed so that if I never came back and people had to find me, I'd be like, I went to this person's house.
Would you actually, like a piece of paper?
Like a little post-it or something. I'd be like, yeah, so...
Oh my God. Why do you want everyone to know that you're a big old hoe?
Oh, I'm definitely not.
We can talk about your 30s.
Oh.
No.
No.
But so why are you saying that you'd never, when you clearly have gone to...
No, I said at the start, I have, but I took certain protocols in place before I went. And one of them was like, my little note. What I want to finish my segment with is like, I don't know if people know how to use social media hookup sites. There's like an etiquette that I think people should follow. And if you choose to follow them, do. If not, you're opening yourself up to the killer. That's all I'm saying.
What etiquette do you think there is when you're on an app?
Well, I think you shouldn't be scared to ask questions. I think there's definitely like this sort of pretense where people they're always hooking up and they're on there for sex basically. They'll probably say, look, I'm not into chit chat, which is fair enough. But if you don't feel comfortable not knowing about this person, then I wouldn't like, if somebody's just like, yeah, just come around and have sex, I'd be like, no. Like, I think, ask whatever questions you want to ask. You have to feel comfortable and safe when you go around to somebody's house. And if they're not giving you the answers, chances are you're not going to feel comfortable and safe when you go around there. So take that as a red light to not go around.
But I feel like someone that would want to know people wouldn't go in that situation. Whereas for some people, the mystique is like, oh, I don't know this person. It's just a random body. And I think that's quite destructive, actually, because part of it is, just wanting to feel a connection with someone without even knowing their name or anything, or having any sort of conversation is almost the feeling that they crave.
Oh yeah, but that's totally fine. What I'm saying is, if you're in the scenario where you want to know more about this person before you go around, do not be scared to ask questions. And if they're hesitant to give you like engage in chit chat, that's a sign that this person is not for you. But if you're in the mindset of saying, yeah, I don't really care, I'm going to go around and just fuck, then go around and just fuck. Just be safe.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, if that's what you want to do, obviously that's fine.
Yeah.
But I will go into a bit more, but I do think that that's probably like leaning on the more unhealthy range of like using those apps if you don't want to have any connection, because like sex is great, it can be great, but it's like more like the reasoning why you want to just see someone and have like regular sex with strangers. I think it forms a deeper story.
Yeah, I don't really know what the point. What are you saying? Sorry.
I'm just saying, I feel like there's more to it than just, okay, if you're either into like anonymous hookups or not, that if you are, then you should go and meet people without knowing their names or any information. I feel like it's covering something that's a bit deeper than just, oh, I'm just into sex with people whose names I don't know.
Oh, do you mean for that person's psychology?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a deeper, and for me, in my opinion, it's based on nothing. It's just, I think that's leaning on the dangerous side of using the apps. If that's what you're really trying to find and seek that validation in some way, for whatever pleasure that you're seeking, I think that if you regularly do that, I'd be concerned about where your state of mind is,
Yeah, I mean, not to judge anyone for whatever they do.
No judgment at all. Yeah,
it's my opinion as well. I think we're to me, that sort of mindset is a bit destructive. Like if you're listening to this and that is your mindset, like all I would say is be safe.
Mm-hmm.
Take what medication you need to take, or wrap up your willy, or whatever you want to do. I don't think none of us are trained psychologists to delve into what issues people have.
No, not at all.
But another thing I always think is important is do not send any pics that you're uncomfortable with. I think there's so much pressure. And do you know what? I've noticed as well that a lot of people start off conversations with a cock pic or a picture of their asshole.
It's so strange.
It's like, what world do you live in where you think this is the right way to greet somebody?
Mental. Yeah, like it's honestly, that astounds me.
It disgusts me, really.
I maybe it's just me. I like faces. I like nice faces.
Yes.
I want to see your face. I don't know. It's just strange that is the very first pic. You don't have any face pics on like the front of like your profile, and then the first picture you send is
your chocolate starfish.
Your face. And you're like, oh, I don't know. That's weird.
I'm eating my dinner. I don't want to see your asshole while I'm eating my dinner.
I like eating and being horny at the same time.
You don't want to eat and see somebody's crack staring back at you in the phone, especially when there's like no warning given. You're just like, some chicken, and then boom.
I mean, you can't not expect that if you're already on the app, babe. Like, honestly, if you're messaging someone on your app, Tinder or Scruff or Grindr, while eating your dinner, just assume that there's a possibility that someone would do that. If not, I don't think you truly understand what this app is for.
I don't think I understand what this app's for.
No, obviously, because you're surprised that someone's doing it. Don't eat chicken and play on Grindr is the lesson.
Well,
that's probably part of etiquette as well, isn't it?
I think that's bottom on the list. But I do think anyway, back to the point. If you're not comfortable sending naked pictures, don't be pressurized into sending them.
No, it's true. I don't know about you, but I've sent tons of pics throughout the years, and I'm like, fuck's sake, they could still be just floating about now. And you're like, imagine if they just show up all of a sudden. I'm like, oh no. When I'm younger, I made the mistake of sending a picture that had both my body and my face, and you need to separate those things.
Yeah. Oh my God, don't do
It's
that.
not bad. So that's the one thing, is don't do that. But I wouldn't do that now, like, but yeah.
I have sent naked pictures of myself. Again, never face and body at the same time.
We're going to become rich and famous after this podcast. And then these pictures are going to be floating about, and then it'll make like headline news.
Oh God,
yeah, naughty sex pots. Or what you call it.
No, I think the best we can hope for is attitude giving somebody 10 quid not to show the picture.
I know, no one wants to see that, to be honest. No one wants to see that at all. And I mean you, not me. Everyone wants to see me.
Yeah, other things as well that I think people just need to like think about whenever they're engaging in social media hookup sites is, like I said, meet somebody somewhere neutral first. Like, you don't want to be in a situation where somebody's going to come around, trash up your house, bring in a knife, and talk about how you killed somebody. I would avoid that situation, I think, on a first date.
Probably.
I always, like, if anybody was like, to me, similar to what you said earlier on, like there's a difference, I think, in hookups and meeting somebody out. So I always, whenever I used to go out somewhere, like I knew we were going out for the night out, I'd always make sure my room was really tidy. But I'd also hide my valuables, like, just in case. You never know.
That is really important.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was younger, I didn't think of it at the time, but then even my friends are like, I think he robbed you. Because I couldn't find my watch anywhere. And I'm still not sure nowadays when I think about it. And I was like 21 years old. Like, it was years and years ago.
I hide everything away.
You hide all your stuff away there?
Yeah.
Wait, before you go on a night out, just in case you bring someone back, do you say?
Yeah, just in case you bring somebody back.
I never thought about that, to be honest. I never thought about that.
Well, that's why I'm still alive.
Well, I've never had people back because, like, I've either been in a relationship or lived at home. So it's never really been like something that crossed my mind. But I'll be moving out soon now, being an independent and free woman. Oh. So for those listening, I can now come.
Watch the offers come in.
There'll be like just a train of guys being like, finally, you've been waiting. No.
You'll be giving tickets out the door.
Oh my God. I know. It'd be free entry.
Please.
I know.
Charge them. Get £5 per person and you'll be...
I think that is illegal.
Oh. ask for donations.
Yeah, ask for donations for this show.
Yeah.
I'm going to fund our show by asking men to come in.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I would pawn you out for money for the show.
I think that is a good idea, and I appreciate you thinking that I'm the right person to do so.
I'm glad.
I can tell that you love me.
Yeah, I'm your pimp. But there's some last ones for me. I just think you don't owe anybody anything, so you don't owe anybody an orgasm. So if you go up there and something's not right or something doesn't go well or whatever, leave, exit, look out for yourself. Don't be scared to like just say, look, this is not working. I'm not feeling this or whatever. Like, put your safety first. Block anyone that doesn't that's not like bugging you or you're not interested in. Like, just block them. Don't feel like you have to engage in conversation with somebody just because you did for 20 minutes before.
I wonder if many people bug. I've not had like anyone like actually actively keep on messaging me or bugging me. I'm interested.
What? Oh, yeah, I did.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Like,
that sort of people, like, they're like, hey, they only send one word and you're like, and there's no picture, there's nothing, there's no detail. They're like, hey. And then a day later, hey man, hey, how's it going? Hey. And this is like you just ignore them, and I'm like, I'm not, because sometimes when some of these sites you want to get limited blocks, I'm like, I'm not wasting it on this guy. I want to just block people that are creeps. And he's just like, hey, and literally for like 2 or 3 weeks every day, hey man, hey.
So, this has got to not be in London though, right? This has got to be in Ireland.
London.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so strange.
I've never, I don't think I've, well, yeah, I did when I first moved over to Ireland. I had the apps, but like, yeah, London, weird. Oh, Ireland's worse though. Ireland on these apps, it's all married men. Everyone's discreet. Nobody ever shares pictures.
Like, I know, it sounds so hot. I've always had a dream of like ruining an entire family, but like a dad and like a mom and 2 kids, and then destroying it. Absolutely annihilating. That is the sexiest thing in the world, honestly.
Yeah, there was a thing where I seen it where it was like, oh, I just broke up a relationship. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, no, it wasn't my relationship. It's like,
who says that?
It was like something I would say. I'm like, it wasn't my relationship. Bye. Yeah.
I know someone that like nearly happened with. I won't say his name for legal reasons, but it's like the best story. Like, it's someone he used to work with, and this person just continually messaged him and stuff and was like, oh, I want to see you again. Because this guy had a wife and a young child, and the woman is like the guy is really attractive. The
Mm.
guy was really attractive. And then the picture of the wife, I was like, wow, you are something special in a bad way. And then he'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it again because he's got a family, da, 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 da. And then they'll see each other and he'd be like, let's go upstairs. And he'd be like, okay.
Mm.
No.
One thing I want to talk about in a future episode is that scenario. Like,
what, like affairs?
yeah, if you knew somebody was in a relationship or married, would you, and we're not going to talk about it now, we'll save it for another episode, but would you go for it?
Okay.
And then just lastly, like, be safe, I think, guys, and girls, guys and girls. Make sure you're protected sexually, physically, mentally. Look out for number one. Because in these sort of apps, Tinders and the Grinders and the whatever else is, everybody's just looking out for themselves. You're not going to meet somebody who's going to protect you. I'm not saying everybody out there's a monster, but I'm just saying in every scenario, go at it like they're a killer. That's what I say.
You're such an old fuck. That's something that my mum would say. Like, honestly, that's a bit of a stretch. It's quite interesting because I wanted to talk about apps actually. I think when we said it, because I told you about my week at the start, like it wasn't very good, right? Yeah. And so I remember like on Wednesday and on Thursday, I wasn't feeling very happy, and I wasn't, like, I hadn't done anything. But what I found myself doing so I recently downloaded Scruff, which is another app. And I just felt like I was trying to, and I don't know, I was speaking to some of my friends, whatever, and not about this, just in general, but I was just feeling very lonely at the end of last week. I hadn't done anything a week. I kind of put myself in like a bad place where I didn't make any plans, and, you know, I just didn't want to see anyone because I was just in a bit of a strup. But I was trying to like talk to like as many people as I can online. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's a bit bad because, you know, it's kind of using it. Originally, I got it like a couple of months, quite a few months after, well, not very long ago, like about a month ago or something. And I kind of just wanted it for a bit of attention at the time. I was quite open about it with like myself. I was like, I just want some attention. Like, I don't know whether I'm still available for people. You know, I'm definitely a lot older, a lot fatter. And I don't know, I just wanted to have some sort of like validation and be like, actually, there are people out there that, you know, still find me attractive. So I originally got it for that, and it was nice because some people were like, oh, you know, nice pictures, or you seem really nice. And I was like, oh, that made me feel really, really, it made me feel nice. It made me feel good. It made me feel wanted. And so I've kept it since. And, you know, I haven't really used it that much, if I'm honest. Like gone and met people for dates or anything else. I haven't done that much. Yeah. Mostly just like chatting. But it's just weird that like when I felt really, really bad, my first like thing was to go on this app and try and like talk to people that I don't even know. And I just felt like, I don't know, I didn't feel like that was a good use of like the social media app, no?
I don't know. I can understand the mindset you're in though, and I can understand that you're sort of like there. You're, you know, feeling a bit lonely, feeling a bit down. It's like, I'll go on here and try and get some validation or some attention of some sort to like feel good about myself. And yeah, I mean, it's a danger, it's a risk, it's a gamble, isn't it? I mean, you're going on there, like we talked about these people just there looking to come around to your house, bring out a knife and trash at your home. Like, you know, you have to take a gamble if you're going to get somebody who's like, because like there's sometimes a game whenever I used to use them as well. I was in the exact same scenario. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's a Friday night. I'm a bit bored. But then you have to also think the other side. These other people on Friday night are on here to get sex. And they're not going to really care that I'm like having a bad week. It's a gamble. Like, and there's chances are you might meet somebody that is just down for a chat. Like other people are on there just for chat and to meet people and whatever. Well, I don't know if I was just down for a chat. Like at the time, I couldn't really decide or understand what it is that I wanted to do. So then like there I am at work and stuff. And then this guy, so some people might not want to kill you. You know, some people might actually want to just do something. And then there are some people, this is one of the best things ever, it seems, because I didn't know this was out there. There are some people that want to just give you a blowjob. They love sucking dick, and then they're happy. They don't need any reciprocation, which is like my dream. Is my absolute dream. Like, what, to just go and suck people's dick? No, I don't want to do it because I'm really lazy. But like, I think for people to be really good at it, like you have to want to do it and like be committed and stuff. And there are people out there like that. So I was talking to someone last week, Thursday, when I was like sort of around work, and he was like, oh, I'd rather, you know, I want to go down on you. You don't need to do anything. And I'm like, wicked. But then I was like, I also, you know, wasn't feeling very good. And I thought, you know, I didn't go in the end because I was like, I feel like for this kind of thing, if I'm not feeling very good, if I go and do that, I just genuinely felt I would feel worse afterwards, you know?
I feel like if I go in it with a mindset where I'm actually wanting to do this because, you know, I'm just up for it, you know, I feel good about myself, then I might come away feeling like, actually, that was a good decision. But I couldn't imagine a scenario where I would go over there and be like, oh, now I feel better, you know?
Yeah. I mean, one thing I always remember from like the very few hookups that I did do is I always felt shit afterwards. I always just felt like, oh, that was just not worth the energy or my time.
Yeah.
And that's why I just like decided to not do it anymore.
Yeah, like I don't know. I don't know how it would work where you'd feel really, really good about it. Maybe like the sex has to be like exceptional, because I feel like generally first time sex or anything with people can be quite hit and miss because you don't know each other's bodies, you don't know what each other likes, and you know someone might be into something more than you are, or vice versa.
Yep.
You know, and you know, one of the good things about relationships is you can explore that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, me personally, although I know, like, even a straight person, one of my friends, like, he's quite risky with people that he just meets because he's got the mindset of like, oh, I may or may not see them again. I may as well give it a go. Whereas I'm the opposite. Like, I'm not going to try and say like, oh, I really like it when you do this with strangers.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Well, I mean, one thing to point out is that even though you and I are both gay, I don't think that the advice we're giving is restricted.
I'm not giving advice.
Well, I don't think the opinions we have or the advice I gave in my last bit or whatever it is, like I don't think they're just isolated for the gay world. I think it is like straight people in the same scenarios need to think about the killer as well.
Probably more so, to be honest, because I think there are some different things. So our biggest fan, Colin Taylor, we were just talking because he wanted to give a suggestion about, and it's so strange, maybe something's happening in the world, I have no idea. He was saying like he was interested in how do gay dating apps affect mental illness.
Oh yeah.
Which is quite interesting because just as I was looking into it, it turns out that, you know, people within the LGBTQ society, the whole society, have a higher rate of mental health issues than other categories of people, you know, predominantly like straight people.
Yep.
And it's, you know, generally down to like not feeling accepted as like a child and younger growing up or in society, you know, through school and stuff. But there's little to no research on the mental health aspects of using these apps. They check things like rate of usage and the type of people that use it, but they don't actually track, or hasn't been many studies on how do, you know, the reasons as to why people are using it.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting because I feel like it would link heavily to mental health. You know, I don't know if you think about your friends or people that you knew in London and the people that have it. I'm like, you know, we are using it in a lot of ways, or misusing it, I think, in situations because, you know, you're trying to cover something up. There's a potential for that, I think. And I recognized that in myself last week, Wednesday, when I was like, or a Thursday, pardon me, when I wasn't feeling good at all. So I went straight to this app, which is really bizarre. It's such a, you know, and I'm glad I didn't go and do anything, to be honest. I'm really happy that I didn't because I think I'd regret it. But there was a study that says that like Grindr, out of all apps, and this is in America, and thanks for Colin for sending this as well. I had a little research that Grindr has the biggest regret rate of any app in the Apple Store. So 70% of users feel regret after using the app. Second was Candy Crush. But the first one was Grindr. And isn't that crazy? Well, I mean, I don't know how crazy it is, but it's just interesting that most people that use it in this in this one study that they did felt regret after using it.
Oh God.
Isn't that bad?
Well, I just said earlier on, didn't I? Like, I always hated like random hookups. Is that what you mean, or just do you mean like
just using the app, just going on the app, and then afterwards, 70% of users feel regret after using the app. So it's not even actually going to meet someone.
Yeah.
It's, you know, so you think, what are you using it for? Like, what is this fueling?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, about the apps, they get a bit addictive. I remember when I was recently single, way back when, I was on it all the time because before I started, like, because I was in the 5-year relationship, and before I started dating Ben, it like these apps weren't about, and then once we broke up, there was like these apps, and I was just like, oh my God, what did I do? And I was addicted. I was like, just seeing what it was about. Like, I quickly learned that I didn't like them, but what I also quickly learned is the time I was spending, like I would go home and spend the night on these apps, just chatting to people that I would never meet or potentially meet and regret. And like, meanwhile, my friends are out having fun, and I was in the kind of like recently depressed mode because, you know, relationship was over, feeling a bit alone anyway, feeling I want like, and it's sort of like a hit, like a little like boom. Every time somebody messages you, you're like, yes, feels good. And then and I also think it's like down to luck as well. Like there's times you'd go and like nobody would message you because like people are busy or they don't like what you're talking about or you don't like your picture or whatever, and you don't get any messages. And I'm there like I remember being like for hours, being like nobody's messaging me back. What's the shit?
Yeah,
oh my god, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, Tinder, I don't know. Do you remember? I mean, Tinder. If you don't match for ages, like you'd play that game for hours. You're trying to match with someone, which is bizarre. Instead of like you might match with someone in the first couple of swipes, but if you don't match for an hour, like you could literally be there. This was ages ago, but I don't have Tinder now. But like I was there for like an hour and a half just to swiping, and I didn't do it nowadays. Like some people just swipe right regardless.
For God's sake.
Ages. Yeah. I don't think it serves a purpose. It's difficult because I don't think there's necessarily a problem in wanting to make yourself feel a little bit more validated within reason, right? So you go in there, you want to talk to someone. I actually quite like chatting, so I don't mind it because if my friends aren't available to necessarily chat, there are some nice people out there that have like good, conversations with and stuff.
Yeah, so but like not everyone's a killer. Like I know
not
that.
not everyone's a killer, and you just got to think about yourself. But like it can become addictive, especially when you're trying to meet someone, and sometimes you go on an app. And you'll get a hit straight away, and then you're like, "Oh, wicked! I feel really good." And then you'll go on an app or something, and then you don't get a match or whatever it is for ages, and then you're constantly seeking that validation, like for the next hour, trying to find someone that finds you interested, and it's just really strange.
I don't know what that feels like.
Pardon?
I don't know.
You don't know what that feels like. Well, I know what it feels like very regularly.
I was matched every 2 seconds. It was like match.
Exactly. Well, because you're just beautiful and everyone loves you. And you're not greasy in any way, shape, or form. If anyone tells you you're greasy, tell them they're wrong. Okay.
I don't call it grease. I just call it self-lube.
Self-lube. That's good. You're almost like a woman then, because they self-lube, don't they?
Men self-lube as well.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
That's not true.
I mean, not like you still need lube for whatever you want to do, but or is it just sweat? Maybe it's just sweat.
I think it's just sweat, babes. Oh my god. Most people use spit, but you use sweat as self-lube. That is disgusting.
That's it. In the scenario, in the setup, they're like, and I'm like, no, I've got this. Turn up.
That's disgusting. But the same thing that I was reading on this, like this article about using like Grindr. It says Grindr in particular, but you might sort of stretch it out to like regular apps. But it says that there's a psychological concept called variable ratio reinforcement, which is basically you get regular rewards at unpredictable rates. Mm-hmm. So, we say if you go on there quickly, you go on there and then you get a match or something quickly, there, you've won. You've got your reward because that's what you've gone online for, right? And then you might go on another time. That's the hit. That's your hit. Like you've got your hit. That's what you expected. That's what you wanted. But this same behavior is heavily linked to people that are addicted to gambling. Mm. So those that are addicted to gambling, slot machines or something like that, you may win, and if you don't, you're constantly seeking that hit, that win. And so although there hasn't been any studies about the addiction use of all of these apps and stuff, to me as I was reading it, I was like, that makes complete sense. Yeah, you can't control it. You have to go on it because you're seeking this, whatever that reward is. In gambling, obviously it's the money and that rush and that exhilaration. And that's not too dissimilar. Like I do feel really good. There's been a couple of times on like these apps where someone who I find, or from that one picture that they have, I find really, really attractive. I'm like, oh, amazing. I can't believe that this person thinks that I'm really, really hot, which is nice. And I feel really good about myself. And then, so my job at the moment, I'm like going around like London a lot. So I'm in a new location because a lot of these work on location-based stuff, right?
So is this your day job or is this the evening, like extra night work you put on just to socialize?
This is my day job. My extra hours are my extra hours, and we weren't going to talk about that in public, remember? Yeah, okay.
Listen, bitch, I'm your pimp now, so...
Oh my God.
You're on
it might become my day job, though. It might become my day job.
You're on the clock all the time. We have a studio to pay for this podcast. We have things to pay for. I want to be able to create my own jingle. I want to be able to advertise.
I think you need to also spend some money on lube because the sweat doesn't work very well, babe.
You go shake your tush. Go out. Go.
I was doing that yesterday at the work party. So I wore these shorts that I knew, and I was like, this is a fucking work party, but I thought I might go to Pride. But I put the shorts on, and I was like, my bum looks like a shelf. Like it was just poking out everywhere in a good way. Like it was so. These shorts were just, like when they just work. And for those of you who don't know, because like Ashley has no ass, but I have like a really big bum. Like stupidly, I've got a woman's body. I've got hips, I've got a big bum, and for the most part, I like it. I'm quite happy. I do have breasts nowadays. Yeah, for the most part, I'm quite happy with the fact that I'm a full-figured man, and that's fine. Yeah, no, my bum was just all out, and I was shaking it loads. But then some bitches tried to get their camera out and film me, and I was like, "Get that camera away! I am not your show." Well, I was their show. I just don't want to be everyone's show.
My culture is not your entertainment.
Yeah, my culture is that is that a race joke?
No.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, God.
But anyway, yeah, basically, yeah, I was working myself, but no one paid me, and I think I should leverage the gifts that God has given me to make some money. But that's
Yeah.
not true.
Well, I mean, if booty paid by the pound, you'd be a billionaire.
Oh my God, how rich would I be? I would definitely be a millionaire for sure. You would have what, 2p, 2 or 3 pence?
Girl, I'd be in debt.
Ah!
I'd have the bailiffs coming round the door saying,
my God.
"You owe us,
You owe us some ass, bitch."
There
I
is
didn't have any. I tried to squat. I did my box jump. I keep falling.
the squat.
The squats don't work.
Yeah, no, the squats don't work. Oh,
Anyway, so yeah, in my job, like I do travel around, and before I got the app, like even when I was single and stuff, I was taking the piss out of one of my friends because it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, "How are you on the app at 9 o'clock in the morning?" And he was like, "I'm in a new location," and I couldn't understand what he was doing.
oh.
And I was like, "Now it makes sense. I'm in a new location. The first thing I'd want to do is just like find out who's in the local area, and for no reason as to just, seek what kind of guys are around the area." And it's just like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm not saying it's bad necessarily because I'm not looking to like meet someone while I'm at work or something. Like I'm not there to just go and have sex, but I'm certainly seeking some sort of validation, or as well as I do want to see who's hot. Like that's really important to me, obviously. Like I do actually want to see who's hot. But it's just no, it's quite interesting.
It's the validation part which I get, and also the hotness part which I get. But it's also, I think, the essence of if you're at work and you're on your break and you turn on your app, your future husband could be walking past at that right moment. And
you think you can find a husband on an app?
No, I don't, because everybody kills. But like your future, I didn't say Matt. I said your future husband could be on that app.
I'm hoping I find somebody else's husband because that would be amazing.
Well, but I'm saying like you never know who's online in your vicinity at the same time, so it just kind of like lets you cast a wider net.
It does. I did go on one date a couple of weeks ago. Did I tell you?
No.
Oh my God.
But I am looking forward to these shady dating stories.
There won't be that many. I don't want to start spreading like any. I don't want to seem like I'm not dating. One thing I don't want to do is I don't really want to go on dates. But sometimes I don't know what I want. I don't want to just hook up with loads of people. But I like the idea of having sex regularly. Like I do enjoy it. But I don't want it to be like loads of people all the time. But I also don't want to date because I don't really want to form any like.
Do you want a fuck buddy? Is that what you want? You want a fuck buddy?
I think so. Just someone that knows me. Something that's regular. The problem is I don't know whether I'm able to do that because I latch on real quick.
Quicker than me.
Probably not quicker than you know, but you can understand me what I'm saying then. Like,
yeah.
If I start having sex with someone and I like them, like it's impossible. Just when I like people in general, like I form these attachments really quickly.
Yeah.
Really, really quickly. So
you know what my nickname is?
Needy Ash?
No, the barnacle. I just
the barnacle.
Yeah.
You are needy as hell.
All right, cool. Sorry, keep going. I keep interrupting.
That's fine. I like talking about how needy you are because it's true.
Talk about me.
So yeah, I don't necessarily know what I want in that respect. I do. I say that just something that's relatively regular and stuff. I meeting strangers all the time. I don't know if that's really for me, but I did go on this date, and it's really bad because we met up just after work, and then we went just to Soho Square, so it's a little park. We didn't go anywhere to have a drink or anything. We were just gonna have a walk around. We'd been chatting just for like a day, I think 2 days, and he was only in the country for like 4 days. He was American, and personality-wise, it didn't really work out like straight away. I could tell immediately. Like, he was very intellectual. The things we were talking about, I didn't seem so interested, and I don't know. We just weren't on the same page. But within about 5 minutes of meeting him, I could tell that he had really bad body odor. That he smelt. And I was like, what do I do? Well, not me. Like, I'm not too bad with these sort of things, but I was like, fuck's sake. Like, you can't just meet someone after you've been talking for like 2 days and then saying you're going to spend the afternoon with each other and then leave within like 10 minutes. So I did sit there for a whole like 45 minutes, which I thought I was very proud of myself. Very, very proud. Some people think I'm quite blunt in general. So I think that I told someone this and like, I'm surprised you lasted that long. And I was like, I know, me too. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Can you just leave? The problem is we were outside, so it's so bad that it's not like we were sitting next to each other inside a building where you would smell it. We were sitting outside. Like, there was lots of natural air, and I could still smell it, and I was like, fuck. Yeah.
And if you're sitting downwind as well. Ooh.
But then he was like, "Oh, so what should we do now?" And I was like, I think I'm gonna go home."
That's
Yeah, yeah. He was like, "Oh, really?" And I was like, "Yeah." No, it wasn't. It wasn't great. It wasn't great at all.
Did you tell him about the podcast?
I did.
Oh, so he's going to listen.
I need to block him on the app now. Like, how have you said this? Yeah.
Or he's like, oh, who's this guy you met that stunk?
Oh, I know. It was just someone else. It was someone else. No, I gave some a specific detail. So yeah. But we'll see. Maybe there will be some dating stories. Maybe I'll just go on some bad ones just to, add some comedy value to these things.
Yeah, well, not when you're on my clock, bitch. You better be bringing in the pounds.
Wait, money's money, innit? It doesn't matter who they are. I'll just shake my ass. I can't just be hot guys.
Wow.
I'm looking forward to selling my body because that sounds really exciting and a good job prospect.
It will encourage your social skills. You'll get to see parts of London you've never wanted to see before.
Never wanted to see. Yeah. Absolutely.
What's your final thoughts then about your topic?
It's difficult because I didn't really conclude it, but I think that like for me using the app, like it's nice when I'm not feeling so down. So it's nice being able to talk about it now. Actually, I really appreciated it. I'd be interested to know what tendencies I follow when using it. I'm happy to use it when I feel like I'm in a good place. But I think I need to recognize, like, when I'm not feeling so, happy and feeling a bit down on myself, that it's probably a good idea to just not use it at all and rely on it, because I'm glad I didn't go and meet someone, but who knows what will happen in the future.
Well, I'm glad you're able to use this podcast or bore our listeners with your stories.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure I feel like there's many people that use it this way, and though it isn't studied, and I don't know whether people do or don't talk about it, but it would be interesting to know what other people thought about using these apps, and if they really feel like secure in the fact that they're able to use it in a way that benefits them, where they can meet people for dates or more and still feel really, not regret that decision they've made,
Yeah, I'd be very interested to hear what people say about it as well.
Thank you for being my therapist.
It's all right, you'll get the bill.
It's all right, I heard you're cheap, so it's fine.
That's true. But, well, everyone, thank you very much for listening again. We've got a new Apple review I want to read through.
Oh, lovely.
This is from Masio Magic, and their comment was, okay, so I went to school with Ashley, so I only started listening because I'm a nosy cow, fully aware that I'm not your target audience, but really enjoyed the banter. I am ignorant to the LGBT community, so I feel that this is teaching me loads. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. So this is somebody I went to school with. Yeah. So we're friends on Facebook. Absolutely love her. She's the cutest little baby in the world. Thank you very much I've already thanked her anyway, but thank you very much for the comment and the review. One thing she said, which I wanted to get but she says, fully aware that I'm not your target audience. Now, I don't think we have a target audience, personally.
Well, at the moment, we want everyone to listen, even those damn killers.
Yeah. Well, do you know what? I'd like to think the things that we're talking about don't isolate people who don't consider themselves in the LGBT community. And I think what she also said in this comment, which I think is really important, because I've heard it from other straight male friends of mine that listen, is that they're actually learning a lot about the LGBT world. And I think it's something that I definitely want to continue with the podcast, I wouldn't say as the main theme, but I think I don't know. I don't think we have a theme. I think because we're both gay, we tend to talk about things that relate to our world. But I do think every episode we've talked about in the past, it's either educational for people who aren't in the LGBT community, or it's not isolating to people.
No, I'm glad that some people find it interesting that can necessarily relate. Like, I think that's a really nice thing.
Yeah.
Personally, because find out about other people and the way that people act. Yeah, I think just by chance. I don't know about you, but my mission, there's no mission, but mine isn't to educate anyone.
Mission.
I'm in no place to educate anyone on anything except for bad footwear. So I don't know. I just want to talk, and if people enjoy it, they do, and be kind of funny, and
it's lighthearted, it's fun. But like I said, I'm glad that people are listening to it, and I'm glad that she's learning from it. I really enjoy doing it. I hope you do too.
Sometimes, but you do go on a bit.
Well, that's just me. But anyway, thank you very much for the comment and the review on Apple.
Thank you.
Everybody, please, if you're listening, go on and do the same. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast, because the more subscribes we get, the higher we go up the ranking, and then the more people get to hear our voices.
Lovely, lovely voices.
La.
That was really gross.
That's that's my cackle. It's la. So yes, please subscribe. Thank you for listening to this one. You can find us on Twitter and Instagram. We both got our private social medias as well on Twitter and Instagram. You can go to the website and you can leave comments under each episode of things that you want to talk about. Fill out a form on our website that leaves suggestions, or if you want us to talk about a topic, like don't be scared to like let us know, and we'll try and fit it in.
Well, one thing I'd like, I think one thing that I'd like us to do, and we haven't spoken about it, so yeah, I'm breaking the rules. But I think it'd be nice if there was like a topic or a question that we do that isn't ours, just for the last like sort of 10 minutes or so, that is suggested by one of our audience members. And it can be anything. It can be something silly or something quite deep. But like if they do that and we talk about it, I think it'd be quite nice to add a bit of something at the end.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I would be totally up for that. And also getting whoever makes it, if they're wanting to jump on, but they can come on and have a little conversation with us, with one of us.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, I would love that.
We should definitely do that.
Yeah, alrighty. Well, that's it. Make sure you share this, guys, with your friends.
Friends, family, people you hate.
Yeah.
Strangers on the street.
The Killer.
Oh my God. I want to meet the Killer now. I know.
I do as well. Like, I feel like
I'm like, oh, would you mind coming on our podcast? Tell people why you batshit cray. Like, what is it that you want, you know? I mean, it's like, I don't know. I just like attacking people that I don't know. I really enjoy it.
I can't stop laughing.
Imagine you say he's got a mask on for personal reasons.
Well, I mean, if the Killer's listening and wants to come, like, Matt will entertain him.
I'm sure I have a bad week next week and just go on the app anyway and meet him in that way. So yeah.
Well, let me know so I can take pictures.
Yeah, I will do. I'm sure there'll be loads of pictures from like the forensic evidence when I'm, So yeah.
Touch wood. This is getting really dark. Do we always get dark?
Yeah.
All right, Matt. Stay safe. Remember to leave notes on your pillow.
Oh my God, that'd be my mum at this point in time.
Thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely week.
Have a good week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.